Okay, so today should be a fun unboxing video, and it's going to start with an unbagging. Now, I purchased this from RS. Anyone who has the power of Google or whatever search engine behind them, shouldn't be too difficult to figure out where I got this from, how much I paid for it, and free overnight shipping. So it's like, yeah. I fully intended in getting the J-Car anti-static mat. I already have one, but I kind of burnt it because I was stupid. And I tried to order one on eBay, and that's still pending delivery. I'm not happy about that, but... The other thing I need to do with this is also make a device that I can plug into the wall, and then I plug this into, and then done. But for today, because I'm trying to be a smart ass, I'll be connecting this up to my computer, which is grounded. A bag within a bag. Why? Seriously, I just have to ask why. Now, the mat that I'm getting from eBay, it does itself contain one of these as well, which I didn't realize until after the fact. Well, I bought this and then I tried to get the mat. So, just so you're watching at home, and I'm not using one of those stupid wireless ones. I mean, yeesh. That's directly touching onto my skin. I'm connecting this here. 1 mega ohm. Oh, so it's a 1 mega ohm built into this. Okay. Okay, so that is now attached on the inside of my computer case, and I am officially properly grounded myself. Not the desk though, this is just a cutting mat. So yeah. You know what, I probably could have used one of these things at work, because at my old job, because I kept getting static shocks. Plastic is bad. Plastic is really bad. Anyway. That's opening and setting up a StarTech COM. Why is it hard to find made easy? What kind of logo is that? Anyway, at least these aren't any static shielding. So, I have my two brand new Arduinos. The Every Nano, and one that I purchased with the last of the 2020 money. A Uno Wi-Fi version 2, which is like, yeah! I need Mr. Cuddy. So I'm going to give this thing a proper name if I forgot the one I already gave it. So, unboxing the Every, which I did in a previous video about me ranting about Arduino stuff, and when I tried to ask some questions about how, you know, copyright, copying, follow fake, blah, 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 the only response I got the last time I checked was, no, sorry. Legitimately that I shouldn't really talk about it, and yes. Still, if you are going to go out and buy these, try to buy, like, the legitimate ones. If you're just buying them to mess with, still try to at least own an original one of each. Now, going a little further onto this, if you're new to electronics and you're wondering why this particular one has these little bumps, you could, yes, solder it on like that, but really this is designed to be sat on a PCB and then to be soldered to, instead of using these pins. So yes, you could solder them on like that, but really for breadboard use, you want to stick them in there and then solder them down. So this is a re-unboxing of, well, this Arduino. I like it that they still include the stickers. Manual could be a little bit more lengthy, but unauthorized use. The supplier Suppliers' products are not authorized to be used in safety critical applications where failure, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So don't build this sort of stuff for important life-saving hospitals. Crap. Manufacturing, no, the equipment has been tested with FCC guidelines. This thing shouldn't have a transmitter on it, but then again, anything that creates a signal, even on a wire, can be sort of detected externally. It's weird science stuff, and I can't think about it. So, I forgot to print out the sheet about the differences between you. Anyway, this one, you don't have access to all the pins. This one you do. Still, just sort of opening this up to show what's inside, what you get. I'm still a little peeved that this isn't in its little own anti-static bag or isolated in some way from these, because these knocking around, if one of these parts here aren't soldered on properly, these legs could just sort of knock it off. These not being soldered on are cheaper to buy. That's why I have this. It's for like I think it's like a $15 or $16 Arduino. I'm thinking, sweet. And then unfortunately I went nuts and got this thing. So let's unbox the Nano Wi-Fi R2 board. Wait, did I? Pretty sure I... Oh, there it goes. Ooh. Hello. What do we got here? Are you serious? You are serious. So manual-wise, you've got the same sort of thing, like general terms and conditions, compliance, everything. This does require you to have access to the internet, or at least someone to supply you with a thumb drive or something with all the data on it. But wow, I was not expecting this plastic part. I honestly was not. Okay, I'm officially impressed. The $60 odd I spent on this thing, yeah, wow. I did not expect it to contain that bit of plastic. That is really useful. But then again, if you've got your own sort of holder or you need to put it in something. Is it just snapped in there or something? Oh, it's just press fit in. So it looks like you'd have to get some self-tapping screws, and you should be able to screw this in. Yeah, it just snaps in. Now, with this board, this is a huge thing that I found other people have disagreements with, but on this board, all the connectors are labeled, where on this one it's only on the bottom, so you can't actually see what's what. Which means if you're hooking this up and this has been soldered in, it's going to get fun. This, however, it's not just on the PCB, but oh, it's on both sides of the header pins. Damn. This one, all the pins have been, oh, hang on. No, some of these pins aren't actually connected to anything as well. Over here, I think I can see about 3 up here. Whether or not they're actually... With this one, looking at the schematic, you can tell that there are pins that you can program or you can do stuff with that are not connected. On this one, however, I am not exactly sure. But some of the pins on this board have been sacrificed to communicate with this, if I'm understanding correctly, which is the Wi-Fi module. And that's an RGB LED. This thing's got a built-in RGB LED. So usually what would happen, should add this to start off with. This LED is the one that would blink. I believe it's connected to pin 13. So the code that comes in with this is usually set to just simply blink that. This, however, is going to be directly connected to some other part, and it's going to allow you to, wow, I should have had this set up for the computer. So they really put a lot into this. I mean, damn. Just the difference is huge. I mean, the price is also huge too. I mean, huge, but wow. So let's say you've gone through the process of designing code, you get it all set up, ready to go, and you want to deploy it properly. Well, do you want to waste your prototype board or your Arduino board or whatever you want to call it in the project? Sometimes no, sometimes yes. And if the answer is no, well, you can get these. And I'm honestly kind of peeved that these aren't Ziploc bags, but then again, considering that this is a supplier and these bags are probably just going to get thrown out by most companies who'd order these. So this chip in here should be the same as the chip on here. The labeling's different. Gotta be careful I don't cut my damn finger here. Now, I once upon a time did trust someone using their own like little soldering setup to put these on a PCB. That, and unfortunately some bloody FTDI chips. Back when they still were sort of like an acceptable company, but now no longer. Yeah, I got peeved, and then when I went to try to find those chips again, I couldn't. So I'll just slot that on there, and I'll bring this up to the camera. So there, you can see, there are some differences between those chips. But, as long as I did my research properly. Oh, and now it focuses. Hey. So, I didn't just go out and order these all because, ooh, you know, do for only videos. Like, no, I do intend to use these in a project. I'd like to be able to make my own PCBs. I have the copper traces, the copper sheets for the, well, what you make PCBs out of. The other thing I have these. I still need to find a crystal by the looks of things. And yet that crystal's definitely hooked up. So this is hopefully going to be more accurate than this one, although I don't have the schematic in front of me, which is kind of what I wish I did have. But let's just say, whoop, thanks to the idea of searching, sometimes you can come across even more useful things. I will add that as long as these two chips should basically be the same thing, meaning I should be able to take this chip off and put one of these on in the event this chip does die. But I don't think I've ever heard of that happening or ever seen that. Still, I should be able to replace one of these with here, and then it's just programming it properly. Anyway, as I was trying to say before, let's say for instance that's too small, or you just want to use through-hole stuff. Well, I came across these as well, and I don't have the prices on hand, but these weren't really that expensive. Ooh. Okay, I thought that was like some sort of anti-static foam or something. And they sell these in lots of like 5 plus. Wow. Okay. So what these would allow you to do is to plug them directly into a breadboard. And it should be the same chip that's on these 2 Arduinos. All you do, once you've got it all set up, is you just simply program it to one of these. Now, I haven't looked too closely into doing that, and I haven't really found too much online saying, oh, hey, you know, this, that. I do intend to do this in the near future. And then again, I may end up just throwing it all up in the air and going with the 328p, because I have a fair few of those and I didn't realize it. But using these new the new chip that Arduino has might be fun. Although, honestly, these would be really overkill for the project. It's like turning around and getting a V8 while all you need is like a twin cylinder car example. It's overkill. These should be complete overkill for my project. You can't, I did look, and I think they might only be selling it in this format and not the not a smaller one, and I can't remember the name, but these are DIPs, SMD, surface mount. Yeah. So no, these are a bit bigger than I was expecting, but still you can just sort of prop these into a, oh, what do you call them? Solderless, a soldered breadboard, and you're off. Or, gee, what's the other stuff? Anyway, there's like VeriBoard and stuff. This would just slot right in. Easy to set up. Okay, wow. Huh. Boxes are basically the same size as well. Okay. But wow, I cannot believe that. I am really impressed. So they put all their effort into doing a good job with this, and with this they're like half-ass it. Just, bah. So I'm going to put that back in. Open source is a love. I could see this being a gift for someone. Now it's time to unbox my last thing. My very, very last thing. Perhaps one of my more favorite Arduinos, and one that didn't seem to get much in the limelight. You probably can see that receipt, where I got it from. The way to put this, so how much was this? $14, $8 shipping, $2 GST, so $22. This is perhaps my favorite Arduino. This is the one I showed in the ranting video. However, it was a, well, it wasn't from SparkFun, and it was from some Chinese place that were just like, ooh, come buy our Arduino. Or, oh, we sell this Arduino. So it's the ProtoSnap, the, I can't pronounce the name properly. Anyway, unboxing. You know, when it comes to packaging, personally, I like this. It's paper, or paper. It's biodegradable. So's the box. I mean, the cardboard, this is biodegradable, it's recyclable, it's better than using plastic. That could definitely be better. I mean, what the hell? Purple bag, I would have agreed with. But just like regular plastic? So what do we got here? Wait. Don't break apart your ProtoSnap yet. Doing so will break the connections. I would say that they shouldn't need to say something like that, but I don't want to be the type to stick their foot in their mouth because of it. So yeah, good idea they included that. Although being on top would have been a better idea. I really like the paper. So let's open up this little sucker. Now, by rights, I should be able to get away with hooking this up to a computer and not having Windows 0 out there, although that doesn't happen anymore since the drive was apparently removed. But no, this is an official one, and this is one of 2 that were left in Australia that I could find. Well, that I could find at the time. Although I have to admit, I am kind of worried that if you're not very good breaking these up, or there's a bit of a fault, you could sort of short 2 lines out. So having another original one of these is a bit Look, it's purely because of their whole stance on trying to protect themselves, and instead of ramping up production, FTDI decided to go, nope, screw this shit, we're just going to zero out the hardware ID on the chips we detect as fake. And unfortunately, because you can't trace everything properly, who knows how many chips were legitimate and were detected as fakes. Unless, of course, there's some way different manufacturing anyway. Yeah. Still, I can understand wanting to protect your own product, but not screwing over every single person. That's just... I still think this is I really would have liked this to have taken off better. I mean, and a version of this set up like this, that would have been nice. But yeah, I really shouldn't have purchased this, but having a legitimate one, I always sort of had the knack. I had the feeling. I just had it like, you know, get an original one. Get an original one. And then by the time I go to buy these, they're bloody discontinued, aren't they? And I do question whether or not I should have purchased the other one and given it away or something, but... Oh, hopefully start fooling around again with this. I've got one to play with. Now this probably should have gone on the top. Yeah. That's a bit better. I have to admit, I do like these SparkFun boxes. I didn't buy it directly from them. I bought it through a subsidiary, a seller here in Australia that sort of stocks this and other stuff. You probably could have told by the receipt, but yeah. So these are going to get thrown aside until I have everything I need to start messing with them. Oh, yibbity-yibbita.